And he would always put the team first, always before himself. And that's why on your shirts it has the Logan Boulet effect on the bottom, the red ribbon in the, sorry, the green ribbon in the middle, and above that is Humboldt Strong. Because we actually asked for that because we wanted the team to go above Logan. It's team first. Logan played for the Broncos. We have to remember the Broncos also.
It was really Logan's journey to play Junior A hockey in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League that gave him the adventures, the stories, and the ultimate team experience that he desired as he grew into the man that he became. It was the people that he met that became family, the places that he traveled, the storied teams of the Flin Flon Bombers, the Weyburn Red Wings, and the Estevan Bruins that he played, the crazy antics that his teammates and he would do, and the many opportunities he had to give back, to share, and to serve in the community that allowed Logan to grow and build his true character. The city of Humboldt, the Broncos, and his billets, the Paulsons, took him in and allowed Logan to become woven into the fabric of the community of Humboldt. Logan loved Humboldt, and he loved being a Humboldt Bronco.
But now we will share how this character and being a Bronco became the beginnings of the Logan Boulet effect. Logan's fitness coach, mentor, and friend, Rick Suggett, was the inspiration for Logan's desire to be a registered organ donor. Rick, known as Sluggo, was an all-in kind of guy. He knew when someone special with drive, desire, and work ethic came into his life. You see, Rick had coached many Canadian national rugby teams and was presently, and had just been the coach of the USA Olympic Sevens team, and he had been hired as the first coach in U of L for a first full-time coach. He was a rugby coach, professional coach. He'd worked with a huge variety of elite athletes and many different types of characters. Just because they're elite athlete doesn't mean that they have the same character the coach has. Logan and Rick had a true connection. Rick pushed Logan's limits and Logan soaked it in. There was no room for posers or wannabes, and with Sluggo, and Logan was the exact same. Logan's friends are true blue, and if you were a poser, he didn't really have a whole lot of time for you. When Rick suddenly passed on June 27, 2017, of a cerebral hemorrhage, his wife Jen and his family made the decision to donate Rick's organs. Logan spoke to me later that summer, and he wanted to do the same. And I said, you'll be 80 years old when that happens. Nobody wants your organs. And I brushed off his discussion of mortality he wanted to have. And he said, nope. I'm going to sign up and donate my organs. I'll sign up to be an organ donor before the age of 21 on my birthday. And that's where the conversation stopped, because I didn't want to talk about his mortality.
I can remember clearly that morning that Rick passed away. I had to be the person to tell Logan. We'd been following what was happening with Rick since the cerebral hemorrhage had happened in the evening the night before. We listened all through the night, read all through the night texts that came through, and received phone calls. Logan was working at the Lethbridge Country Club golf course and had to be up for work at 5:30 in the morning, so he had gone to bed earlier before we knew much of what had happened. During the night, we had a few phone calls with updates, ending with the call that said Rick would not be able to survive the injuries to his brain and that he was going to pass. When Logan got up for his 5 a.m. breakfast, I went into the kitchen to give him the news. He was sitting at the kitchen table in his regular spot. He looked at me as I approached. He knew the news was not good. I told him the news. He just hung his head, and he cried. And he cried. I went and hugged my boy and held him. I had no idea we would be holding Logan less than a year later, the same way that Rick's family was holding him that morning in Calgary.
That's the first time Bernie's told that story publicly. Green Shirt Day started when Rick's family tossed the pebble into the sea of their tears. On Twitter, a person that follows me, C. Frederick, I don't know who she is, C. Frederick was correct in stating, but her comment was amazing. A few solitary actions have a ripple effect that has turned into a tsunami. It started with Rick Suggett, rippled on to Logan Boulet, and has formed a wave that has inspired over 200,000 Canadians to say, yes, I want to be a registered organ donor, and yes, I will have the kitchen table talk with my family.
As many of you here would do anything for any of your children to make things better or to change events, I would do anything to change what happened on that Saskatchewan highway on April 6, 2018. All we needed was a few precious seconds. Unfortunately, we can't go back. We can't change the events of that day. We can't change what happened. However, as we know, we can change the outlook, the health, and the lives for so many people waiting for an organ transplant. Thank you, Gaston. Be inspired by Logan. Be inspired by Rick. Be inspired by so many other angels and living donors and thousands of Canadians. Register, and most importantly, talk to your family. Have that conversation. We thank you very much for listening to our stories about Logan and the Green Shirt Day.
Thank you.
I had my heart transplant in July 2000 in Montreal Art Institute. It all started after I had my first heart attack at the age of 38, followed by a second one 8 years later. These were caused by congenital heart disease called hypertrophic, hang in there, cardiomyopathy. During my recovery, I realized that I had been given a second chance at life thanks to the decision of a donor's family and the consent of the family, by the way. A donor's, you know what I mean. It all comes down to the family. They have to take the decision, especially when the choice was made and they haven't talked about it. I have been able to see my 3 children grow up, and now a granddaddy. After my recovery, I started sport activities. Also, I have volunteered for the cause of promoting organ tissue donation for the past 18 years. 1 year, one break in 18 years. That's more than I've worked there for Hydro-Quebec. Today, I would like to offer my sincere sympathy to the families of the organ donor throughout Canada and thank them for having contributed to saving many lives and giving so many people a second chance.
Addison's story is special to us. You know, I could go over all the details of all the medical stuff. We could be here for several hours. Our flight leaves in 5 hours, so I got to keep it short. But Addison received her heart transplant on Mother's Day, 2011. So you can imagine that it was a pretty incredible Mother's Day. We only waited an amazing 48 hours before we got the phone call. It was life and death for her, so we knew that without that, there was really not a lot of other options. But you know, the thing that I find most impressive is that Addison's story is not unique. It's not special because there are nearly 5,000 British Columbians who are alive today because of organ donation. There are tens of thousands of additional people across Canada who are alive today because of this extraordinary gift of life. And I think that is such a telling number. You know, it's amazing that she's not special and that she's not unique, that we have all of these thousands of people's stories to share. I think, you know, you hear that line, actually you see it right here, what does it take to save up to 8 lives? But I would like to argue that it's so many more lives than those 8 lives. The people's lives you're saving are not just the people who are receiving the organ. Yes, Audrey saved Addison's life, but she also saved my life. She saved my husband Aaron's life. I'm not sure Charlie would be here without Audrey's generous gift. Her grandparents, her aunts, her uncles, her cousins, her entire circle, all of those people's lives are touched because of organ donation.
What an amazing gift. To think, I think people have a tough time even contemplating.
So do I. I just kind of said yes, and I still have a hard time wrapping my head around what actually happened. I just went to sleep, and I woke up, and she was all right. So it was as simple as that.
What goes through your mind? This young man saved your life.
I think he's an angel and made me a miracle. To me, he's a superhero. When he showed up at my house, I couldn't even speak. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah, I was speechless, and I'm never speechless. And literally, I was probably going to be gone in 2 weeks. And he saved my life in the nick of time.
I'm pleased to announce this Green Shirt Day promotion that CBS put together along with the Boulets and the Canadian Transplant Association and Global Network. They've actually sold over 200,000 T-shirts for the cause. So on behalf of Heather Lannon and myself and the CTA, we thank you for the opportunity to speak. I certainly thank my donor families, my donor family. Without them, a number of us wouldn't be here today. The program is truly about the donors and the families of donors. So thank you very much, and maybe next year we'll do it bigger and better.